All right, so my name is Mark Audette. I'm the founder and owner of Verified Elite Training Systems, and this is the first video in my YouTube just daily vlog series that I'm about to start. And all it is just as a way for me to feel out and express like my daily just thoughts and emotions and different like ideas or maybe like something I'm struggling with or whatever that I can express directly to whoever's out there watching. um, whatever, I might read a book and have a question, or I might like find out something new that I think would just be useful in general for like the strength and conditioning community to know what, whether you're on the lifting side, the speed side, the, reactive agility side, whatever it may be. I just want to have a way where like people can directly kind of see and kind of feel out like what I'm like and like what my thoughts are like. So that's kind of where this whole thing is deriving from. And it kind of started today. I was doing a speed session, and then which led into my thoughts of just like, well, maybe I should just give some input into like what I'm looking for as a coach when I'm doing sprints, like, and I'm trying to aim for like those technical type of cues, and ensure that I'm kind of like giving people the opportunity to fully express their speed capabilities. And it's interesting to kind of like talk about that topic just because there's people on all sides of this like debate and spectrum where you have like one side where it's kind of that track side where expressing your max speed is the only way to develop max speed, and I do agree. And the reason is if you can hit top speed, that's the only way you're going to progress and allow your body and nervous system to adapt to get those speed gains. You know what I mean? So you have to know how to express it, and you have to know how to do it correctly. At the same time, then you have like this other end of the spectrum where it's about the environment that you're in and utilizing and understanding your affordances, or basically understanding like what you can do in the environment you're in. And for most sport athletes, that's not isolated with timers or no timers in a straight line. Like, that's not the case. You know what I mean? But I think that there's merit in doing that track side of things where you learn how to basically learn that skill of max speed sprinting. If you can learn that skill, then you can unlock it and have it when you use it, and at the same time you push your speed ceiling, which therefore makes all of the lower levels of your speed higher and require less energy. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. And that's kind of like how I'm gonna direct this conversation today. But I just wanted to show a video that I posted today on my Instagram story, and I want to kind of break it down so that if you're watching and you just see that it's more than just them running a sprint, and there's a reason why there's a soft start and a hard start, and the reason why it's 20 yards. So I want to just go over that, so that everybody can see. Now we're gonna look at it through here, and we're gonna pull it up. So basically the first video is a lift from the other day. Now here we're about to get into the sprints. So basically it's been about probably a week and a half, 2 weeks since I've had the opportunity to work hands-on with my athletes. This is Bill Inge right here. And I wanted to, have the opportunity to express max speed, but at the same time, I don't want to go full bore right back into full 40s max speed timed. That is like the most intense sprint that you can do, or that I've had done in this environment. Obviously, maybe like a 60-yard or 100-yard sprint is something that would be considered the most intense, but I'm talking just relative to the training I've been doing for these guys. So, what I'm looking for here, I just wanted to get a good feel for, how sprint mechanics are looking. Do they look like they're moving fast? Do they seem explosive? And how are their mechanics looking? So we'll watch this one full speed. So he has a soft start, builds up right into a 20, and that looks pretty good, right? So if we just break it down a little bit, like what I'm looking for is his burst, kind of like his position, I'm not one to really worry about the arms as much. I should, but I just don't see a lot of opportunity when I'm coaching max speed sprints, when I'm telling these athletes to run as fast as possible to try to fix something like that. Because the second you enforce that max speed aspect, all goes to hell. That's something you want to work on in your technical stuff before in the stabilization stage. So as Bill is running, right, he gets into that upright position, and we're trying to look at his body position and where basically his front to backside mechanics. So what we can see here is that we have a pretty good bend in his leg and his stance leg. So it seems that we're lacking a little bit of strength in the hip and the ankle to basically support body weight. So something that Bill needs to get back that we're working on is his strength capability so that he can support his body weight, because as we watch it again, I'll try to pause it at a better spot. When he's running and starts to get into an upright running form about here, he's not truly getting full extension of the leg at mid stance. And that's because he's unable to support his body weight. So that's the first thing that in training we're going to attack. But that's one thing I'm looking for. The second thing we're looking for is the front to backside mechanics. So basically it's all about running in front of you with your knees. So he's doing a pretty good job here. You can tell this is actually a pretty good indicator. So he's still in acceleration. He has some pretty aggressive backswing of the arm, which something that can be addressed, but all kind of goes into the cueing of the front arm or cueing that knee punch. But this is still pretty good and something that just needs to be reinforced. So as he's running, it's all about run in front of yourself, run in front of yourself. So a good example of some poor mechanics up front is here. So the athlete on the left is Reese Bender. He is he's a up and coming sophomore, right? So we haven't had a lot of time to work on this, but what you can see is it's not a very good demonstration, but what happens when he runs is he's actually running a little bit behind himself. So he's kicking back because he's trying to overlean. So his overlean is basically causing him to kick his leg far behind him. So you can see Bill, his knee is basically, when he's in mid stance, is right covering his other knee, which is a very good indicator that you're in the right spot. For Reese, on the other hand, he's kicking behind himself when he's in mid stance. So what he's trying to do is he's either over-leaning and over-rotating, and that's not the strategy you want to utilize, because the most important, basically the most limiting factor when you're running at top speed is supporting body weight because of gravity. So you want to run more upright and get that knee up out in front of you. So that's kind of the things I'm looking for. So then when I would be queuing up Reese or Bill, basically they would be queued up a little different. I would just emphasize for Reese to, hey, you need to punch your knees forward more. You know what I mean? Don't outrun yourself. So when you try to run too fast, and especially if somebody's next to you, and that's where that like reactive component comes in. But especially when someone's next to you, you're gonna start to try to win the race. Like, oh, I gotta beat him, and you'll start to lean forward, and then you'll lose those mechanics of staying upright and punching your knees forward and getting in front of you. So that's kind of just like, I guess, a short little video about how I would analyze something. And I'm sure that, there's things I'm missing. I'm sure there's things that I could do better. But the main thing is maximal expression, like expressing your maximal ability. This was a build-up, right? So we were just doing the 20s because it's been a while. But we're going to get back into running our full 40-yard time sprints coming up next week. And I'll do another video at that to kind of show the true top-end speed, because, with the acceleration, we're just getting there. With that 20, we're not truly there yet. So that would be something that I would look for as I'm queuing somebody up in the sprints. And this is the first Vets Daily vlog video. So if any of you watch it, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to know, or anything else I should talk about next time I talk about sprints, or whatever. So thanks. Have a good night.